how much creative freedom is too much creative freedom? I saw Joker Folie, Deux, so here's the good and the bad without spoilers. I want to get this out of the way. I liked some of what Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix were selling. First, I applaud them for committing hard to the musical genre. As a fan of musicals, I appreciated that they fully embraced it, even at the risk of alienating a lot of people. For example, some people walked out of my screening an hour into the movie. And I can honestly say I've never seen a musical like this. One so cynical and bleak that uses the dissonance of otherwise happy music to its advantage. I found the intentional blurring of when singing was real and when it wasn't to be engaging. And in fact, I think the whole movie goes down easier if you view the whole thing as a fantasy. And while I could spot where Todd Phillips had to come up with some creative editing to fix some issues in the musical numbers, I thought many of those sequences were directed with style and flair. Likewise, Lady Gaga is just the best. She's easily the standout performer here. Her singing, acting, energy, all of it was a very welcome addition. And then good on Todd Phillips and co-writer Scott Silver for coming up with some genuine surprises in the third act. The ending, I think, is particularly effective and provocative, and also I like the animated sequence at the beginning. It was clever. But that's all the compliments I've got, because otherwise this movie is kind of a slog and ultimately a pointless exercise. Mainly because it doesn't tell us anything new or all that interesting about the main character. And it takes a long, winding road just to basically rehash everything we already knew. It feels like Phillips, Silver, and Joaquin Phoenix needed an editor or some creative oversight that could have reined in the story and maybe invigorated the plot with new ideas. And worse, Phillips squandered a lot of the interesting ideas and themes he had set up in this universe in the first movie. And a lot of its intended emotional beats just do not land. Often it felt like scenes were just moving from moment to moment without any narrative cause and effect. I think with sequels, the question should always be, was there a good enough reason to go back for more? And while the premise, what if it was a musical, is bold and audacious, it seems like they tried to retrofit a story and everything else into that idea, which leads to an interesting experiment, but not a great movie.